Filipina foreigner long-distance relationships can be challenging. And the fact is, many do fail, but really, they needn't. In this video, I'm going to tell you the preventable reasons why they fail and what you can do to keep your relationship alive and strong. One of the most common reasons such a relationship can and often does break down is because of trust issues. Now I hear you say, that happens anywhere in the world. And yes, absolutely, loss of trust in a partner will certainly lead to any relationship falling down. But when we have a long distance relationship where we're apart from each other, it becomes far more easier to start to become almost paranoid. Maybe she doesn't answer her phone, or she isn't online at the time she says she would be, or she's running late from work due to the chaotic Manila traffic. And I certainly know you guys who have been to Manila will appreciate that. But the point is, when we're apart from each other in different parts of the globe and we have much time to think, we can often and easily jump to what may very well be outrageous conclusions, which of course can also be tied in with any possible insecurities we may have or baggage we may be carrying over from a previous relationship. Think of it like this. If in your previous relationship your ex cheated on you and you may have sensed something wasn't right at the time, but you didn't want to accuse her or think bad of her. So she may have come home late and said she was held up at work or given you many other excuses, only for you to later on find out, all along, she was cheating. Then how will that past experience now play out in a new relationship, especially one where your girlfriend is living in a different country? One could easily think that if he didn't see the previous relationship failing in front of his eyes, then how will he be able to see what's really happening with his girlfriend who is in the Philippines? So you see, it's easy for some people to let their imagination run wild based on previous experiences, and now from their own insecurities or lack of trust in themselves to be able to keep a woman happy. Now, of course, we all know that the Filipina is not the same as his ex, and it's very unfair for her to be compared to the ex. And as I say, yes, we all know this, but with distance comes more uncertainty than when in a close-up relationship where we can see each other in person every day. That alone gives us more confidence around if she's being faithful and loyal to you, and vice versa, I may add. Because simply, your Filipina could also be going through the very same thing. This is why what I'm about to tell you is so vital when in a long-distance relationship with a Filipina. Both people in the relationship should be open, honest, and transparent from the very start. And this is something that should be discussed fairly early on. You both really need to be on the same page here. And if you both want a relationship together, then these three things of being open, honest, and transparent are vitally important, especially in a long-distance relationship. So what do I mean by being open? Well, simply being open to the idea of sharing your life with the other person. So what's happened in your life from a young age, from childhood through to adulthood, the type of work you've done, and the type of relationships you may have had, as well as sharing your hopes and dreams for the future together, as well as individuals. Simply, in any relationship, if one or both people don't wish to share these things about their life because it may be too painful to say, or because they may be embarrassed, then how can they expect the relationship to grow and for the two people to know and understand each other more intimately? And of course, when we're so far apart from each other, this lack of openness we start to see as maybe she isn't into us, or question what her true motives really are. I've had some people in comments on particular videos tell me that they don't bother about a person's past, as that's the other person's business. Well, I say her past is your business and vice versa, especially if you're looking to build a solid relationship from the start, as it gives us insight into their struggles as well as the good times, and gives us a picture of the person they were and how they've grown into who they are today. And that can actually help us to understand and appreciate our partner far more. The second thing I mentioned is about being honest. And again, the same in any relationship. Simply, without honesty, we don't have a relationship. Well, at least a relationship of any real value. But in a Filipina Foreigner long-distance relationship, one needs to be honest in every sense of the word. Or what I'm trying to say is to be extra honest, if you like. Little white lies or twisting stories to your advantage where you're telling half-truths can become a far bigger issue than if you guys are face-to-face in a standard relationship. Over a computer, we don't have the physical presence of the person, and reading their true intentions or meanings can sometimes become more difficult. So a little lie can't be as easily smoothed over by giving each other a hug and a kiss and apologising. And combine that with what I was saying earlier about if you have issues or insecurities of your own, then the paranoia can really start to kick in. So what really under normal circumstances may not have been a big issue, and certainly something a couple could recover from, now becomes blown out of all proportion in your mind, or perhaps in her mind if the scenario is reversed. The point here is that distance can manifest the smallest issues into something that can truly destroy a relationship if the couple is unaware of how distance can play a role in that relationship. And the same thing applies around the third thing I mentioned earlier, and that is transparency. When I talk about transparency, I'm talking about, as literally as possible, allowing your partner to come inside your world, as opposed to when I was talking about openness earlier on. And I purposefully break the two up as they play different but very important roles as to why many Filipina Foreigner relationships sadly break down. Allowing your partner to come inside your life and world, albeit via a computer screen, allows them to feel more connected to you and to gain more of an understanding of you and your life. So show them a video of you around the house and even give them a guided tour of where you live, as I'm sure the Filipina would be very interested. Now I know some Filipinas may be shy to show you where they live because they may feel it isn't to the standard of where you live. But reassure her of how important it is and how you want to know what her life is like from where she lives to her work and friends, etc. When you're out and about doing everyday things, if you can't take a video, then be sure to take some pictures when you're playing sport, out with friends, or even just shopping in a mall. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can be assured that your partner will be interested, as you come from totally different worlds. What you take for granted and think is nothing, she will most likely find intriguing, and vice versa. This sort of transparency, combined with openness and honesty, will certainly go a long way to strengthening your relationship while you guys are a distance apart. And having the awareness around any insecurities you may have, especially from a previous relationship, is so important to never bring that into your new relationship. We often call it baggage, and simply putting someone else's baggage on another person isn't only unfair, but it can easily cause far more issues than needed in the relationship, and ultimately destroy it. If you want more information around effective strategies and tips to building a strong relationship, then be sure to check out the playlist on screen now. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.